you know where they're going to be, and they'll know what to expect, and that'll begin the process. Today, we're going to ask for a vote to fly dry, should we fly. What we're doing is we're going to hold you and not have you grid till at least 12 o'clock, hoping that you can all responsibly grid within half hour to 45 minutes and get the grid set up so that we can launch by 1.
Point of order.
Go ahead.
The rules permit the organization to specify the day is a dry day, no water is not.
Okay, it's a dry day.
Yay.
It's a dry day.
Unfortunately, also a dry area.
The bigger problem is even if I let you all put water in and then you decide you want to dump before you launch, that we're going to have a real mud pit down there. So we're going to make it a dry day. Doug?
I don't understand it. We go over the scales, we don't go over the scales until we grid it well.
No, you can go down, you can stage that in, but we may have to, Mike, we gotta move the scales.
Well,
We might do it up here on the concrete.
well, you know, we considered the concrete, but people probably don't want to drag their wings between the silo and the
It
barn.
works.
So you have to come out here.
They
and
come in, yeah, they come in that way and they go back out.
again.
Yeah, that works. That'll work.
Well, we can do that.
Okay.
You know, is
That'll work that way.
well, is there an issue with where we have the scales down there? I mean, if somebody
Well,
wants
they have to go to the grid to do that. If they're not gonna grid till noon, there's no time to do that on the way to the grid.
Yeah.
That'll be the logistics of that.
Okay, so I have a
So-
question about that. So the logistics of us, I'm down there. How do you want me to come up here without getting conflicting traffic with the people going
Yeah.
by to the grid? How do you want to do that?
Where are you down there exactly?
all the way.
Oh, down.
That's
I'll put it down.
Okay,
So
well,
how, I'm just asking a question. How do you
if
want
we can pull you, you come out with the golf cart at the far end opening and come up this side of the runway,
Okay.
come in, get weighed.
Okay, so
Go back
then
the same
there'll be
way.
2 lanes of sliders
Right.
going out here. There's no, and the runway's dry enough to do that?
The golf cart should work.
Okay.
Well, could I throw one more wrench in here?
Oh, certainly.
I mean, it's really a question.
Yeah.
You know, where we have the scales is down toward the grid, almost at the grid. Is there any issue with just weighing there? And anybody who wants to be weighed from right now on, you know, we can drag you out with a golf cart and weigh you. We can put you back to the side if you want, or we can put you in your grid
I don't think
position.
enough space for everybody down there.
No space for,
30 gliders will all be piled up down there.
well, that's why I'm saying we
Better
can
to
start
move
weighing.
scales than 30 bucks.
Okay,
What?
okay.
Better to move the scales, it'd be easier.
I'm just seeing too many gliders all piled up down there at the end.
Okay.
Before we get too carried away, how many people are gonna weigh today?
Well, how many people want to weigh today? We want to try to do everybody.
But you said we're gonna weigh everybody, so let's.
Well, we're
But
gonna,
it doesn't make sense to weigh everybody because they're not at gross weight.
okay, we won't weigh everybody then. We don't have to. Mike, if you guys want to, you can walk around and just make a check of placards and check that off your,
Okay.
from wherever you're tied down.
Okay.
Why don't we set the scales up on the concrete then?
Okey-doke.
And anybody that wants to be weighed.
It's easier to get to and out, in and out of the concrete.
Okay.
Okay, at 12 o'clock, we'll be passing out the task sheet and the weather sheet at the grid. We'll pass that out to you then. You already got the criteria. Dinner tonight will be about between 6 and 6:30 here on the pavilion. And it's barbecued pork on rice with salad and dessert, brownie bites and a vanilla ice cream. Bring your own bottle. I think the tap is dry. The free beer was welcome night, and it'll come again Saturday for the ox roast. So if you want something besides what's in the refrigerator or lemonade, you need to provide it. Anybody else have any other questions? Other than this, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, real quickly, yesterday, the issue about using golf carts, yesterday being a practice day, here's what I'm gonna do from here on out. I will assume if you don't leave your tail dolly at the silo crow's nest, if you don't leave it there, or your crew doesn't leave it there, you do not need a tow off the field. It will be your responsibility to get the glider after you land. We will have the entire fleet of golf carts at the silo for retrieving off the field. You may use those after you clear it with us. We'll be there. But if your golf cart, or if your tail dolly's not there, the responsibility falls on your shoulders if you don't mind. Second thing, very quickly, about gridding out there today. As Dale Kramer found out yesterday, I'm extremely anal about things. So, once I get it in a frame, if you've got a suggestion, feel free to give it to us. But on the second column and the third column, the ones facing the center, once you grid your plane before we do the pushback, if you would turn so the nose of the plane is facing the center of the field, to give that way through there, there's approximately 75 to 80 feet clear between wingtip to wingtip, but still, by turning the plane into the center, it'll make gridding a lot easier. Being out on that field, I'm going to be probably the third one to reiterate the fact that it is extremely messy. It's in bad shape. If you don't need to drive on it, don't. We had one incident yesterday, also just a little safety thing. I don't know if it was mentioned last night, but when we lock the field, the grid, do not ask to come out if you haven't gridded yet. We had one incident where we were put into a less than happy situation. Just respect the fact that we've got tow planes coming in. Nobody walks between the tow plane and the glider. Nobody drives between the tow plane and the glider. We will be available to pull you out. We've got the 5 carts. They'll be ready to go when you are. Anything that you saw that we screwed up yesterday?
Pete?
Just a logistical question. So if you get a golf cart, you just push your glider out towards the runway and the golf cart magically shows up?
It does sometimes. Sometimes you magically have to jump up and down and scream.
Yeah.
Usually the golf cart or your crew can go up and get one,
We're shorthanded on our kids
We're
this year.
at this other end, and I'm just trying to figure out how the logistics work. Okay, the other question is, we plan to grid at noon unless otherwise pulled at this point.
Correct.
And if you do use one of our golf carts, please don't, this afternoon, if you're pulling your plane back to your trailer, don't just leave the golf cart there while you take the plane apart. Bring it back before you take care of any housekeeping business that you've got, so that we've got it available for other people to use.
We will be on 123.3, and I will tell you at about 11:45 if I don't want you to grid. If we've decided no, we're not gridding at 12, but otherwise be grid at 12. But do that close to 12.
So don't go out before we.
Don't go out before you hear from me, please.
I'm just worried about the holders. 5 golf carts and 28, 29 people.
There are somewhere, like where you are at the far end,
Yeah.
if you walk that, you might find, because that drains really well down there, you may be able with your vehicle to bring it out to at least this far. But I'd walk around and see where it's hard and where it's not.
Yeah, understood. I'm just worried if
That end tends to be the best end to launch from, but it also is a little wetter than that end. That end drains, because it does slope, it drains much better that way. Yeah, Mike?
I'm gonna tell you one of the personal things, so it's my turn.
Okay, go ahead.
What you just said about timing totally confuses me.
Okay.
My glider is assembled back beyond one of the hangars.
Okay.
Am I supposed to stay there until 1:45 and listen on the radio, and at 11:45 you're gonna say, you want my glider gridded? And then in that 15 minutes, somebody's gonna come get me and show me out?
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
That's what you want to happen?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, 11:45, I'll be given the command that you can grid or that we've decided to not grid.